Okay, so we have an urgent information coming out. Once again, the US Commander-in-Chief is putting out some updates. Two nuclear submarines are in the region to counter Russia. At the same time, boom! Uh-oh. The bear moves nukes, bombers closer to Europe. I just posted this video not too long ago. The link will be in the comments box. Make sure you check out the videos, guys. And yeah, we're gonna see what's going on here. Time is ticking, so the deadline is August 8th. I think August the 7th or the 8th. It's like 4 days away. So you have Steve Witkoff. I think he's gonna head to Russia, and they're gonna try to talk things out. And Donald said that I want a ceasefire by the 8th. So again, we're gonna see what's going on in this breaking news here. Now, I just posted a video of this story. I'm not going to talk about this one here, but all I can tell you is it's 4 nuclear bombers, Tu-95, all right? There's 4 of them. And I do believe that these nations are getting ready. And also, you can't forget about Belarus. You had Vladimir, the leader of Russia, also talked about deploying Orishnik hypersonic in Belarus. Alright, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Alright, let's see what's going on here. So the U.S. Commander-in-Chief told reporters on Sunday that nuclear subs he ordered to counter the bear are now in the region. They're already parked, firing position. They have some very powerful Trident II that could reach their location. I think it's like 7,000 kilometers, something like that. So that's a very powerful equipment. All right, so it's already in the region ahead of U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visit. Now, before boarding Air Force One in Allentown, Pennsylvania, the return to D.C., Donald was asked if the nuclear subs had already been deployed to face the bear. Donald said on Truth Social on Friday that he ordered 2 nuclear subs to be positioned in the appropriate regions in response to what he considered highly provocative statement from the former leader of the bear country, Dmitry, about potential war with the U.S. Now, I've already put out a statement, and the answer is they are in the region. All right, so there's 2 subs. They're already in their firing position. When I say firing position, meaning they're already in that spot that they could reach the bear country. The missiles could reach the bear country. So again, they're already in that position, and the bear responded, said that they know about these 2 subs. They already know about these 2 subs. They got their eye on the 2 nuclear subs. So I've already put out a statement, and the answer is they are in the region. Yeah, where they have to be. Donald told reporters. Alright, so, and then today we are hearing that 4 nuclear bombers heading towards Europe. So Donald said that Steve Witkoff is expected to travel to the bear country on Wednesday or Thursday. The Bear State media reported Monday that Steve Witkoff would arrive on Wednesday. The visit comes ahead of Friday deadline. So Friday is the final day. Friday deadline Donald set for Vladimir to reach a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine or face additional sanctions and tariffs. Now, Donald also has warned about potential secondary tariffs for the purchasers of the bear energy. And we're going to get to that one next. India. India is one of the top countries that is buying oil from Russia. And so when they buy oil from Russia, Russia use that money, the profit, and they continue these biblical war in Ukraine. So that's why Donald is trying to end that and punish those countries who is purchasing oil from the bear. Well, there'd be sanctions, but they seem to be pretty good at avoiding sanctions, and that's very true. That is very true. You know how many times Joe slapped sanctions on the bear? Many, many times. The reason why they're pretty good at avoiding sanctions is because there's this thing called the BRICS. The BRICS. That's their own banking system. They created the BRICS. When I say they, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the BRICS, the 5 countries, they created that banking system to avoid the sanctions. And it seems like it's working. It says here, you know, they're winning characters and they're pretty good at avoiding sanction, Donald told reporters in front of Marine One. So, we'll see what happens. Asks about Steve Witkoff's message to the bear and if there's anything the bear can do to avoid sanctions. Donald said Sunday, yeah, get a deal where people stop getting taken out. But Donald, that's not, again, I mean, look what's happening to the Strip. I mean, what do you call that? Chuck E. Cheese stuff? I mean, you can't go after a land for biblical war when in the Mideast there's really bad stuff going on that is a lot worse. A tremendous number of the bear soldiers have been out. And likewise, Crane a lower number. See, this is when I don't agree with Donald. So Donald put out a update that over 100,000 bear soldiers were taken out in the past 7 months. Ever since we hit 2025, 110,000 of the bear soldiers taken out in 7 months. In Ukraine, only 8,000 were taken out in the past 7 months. I don't know where Donald got that info, but boy, oh boy, Donald, I know. Come on, Donald. You know that ain't true. You know that number's baloney. So, and if that's the case, if the bear is losing a lot of soldiers, that means that Crane is doing incredible. They are beating their enemies. They are stopping the enemies. So why do they need us to get involved? I mean, they're doing great. They're doing amazing. They took out over 100,000 in 6-7 months. You guys don't need us. Come on, Donald. They don't need us. It just doesn't make no sense here, guys. They're just playing with a sleeping giant now with all these crazy numbers and info. A tremendous number of the bear soldiers have been out. Likewise, Crane a lower number, but still thousands and thousands of you know who. And now we are adding towns where they're being hit by flying object. So it's a lot of innocent being out in that ridiculous war, Donald said. Donald, come on, dude. I mean, look what's happening in the Strip. It's a lot worse. There's famines going on there, man. Crane is not seeing famine. They're not seeing no famine. You're acting like Crane is the worst, the worst war out of all the wars. But look at the Strip. That's a whole different ball game. That's like, man, that's a nightmare. We stopped a lot of countries from biblical war. No, you haven't. You still got bands still doing their thing. We stopped a lot of lands from the biblical war. We stopped a lot of lands. We're going to get that one stop too. All right, somehow we're going to get that one stopped. That's a really horrible biblical war. But what about the Strip? That's the thing about Donald. And look, I like Donald. A lot of stuff that he does is amazing. But when it comes to this biblical war, I just feel like he's being used or something. But it just very sad that he does great stopping the biblical war, but you got the Strip. That's a big one, and nothing's being done. This should be the easiest to stop, and it's not, Donald added. Before ordering the deployment of the subs last week, Donald had warned Dmitry, the former leader of the Bear, to watch his words. Dmitry had complained that Donald had shortened the Bear Crane cease plan deadline from 50 days to just 10 to 12 days, saying that the ultimatum was warning towards war, not between the Bear and Crane, but with his own country. And that's what started everything here. That's when Donald decided to deploy those submarines. It says here, despite Donald cautioning that Dmitry was entering a really tough territory, the Bear official doubled down and referenced the Bear dead hand, the Cold War era ultimatum nuclear retaliation system developed by the SU. Now, the Sleeping Giant and the Bear hold the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, and that's very true. We have, I think, 5,200 nukes. The Bear has 5,500, so it's kind of close. But that's a lot of nukes. I mean, all them nukes combined could really hurt the moon. So, top Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry reportedly downplayed the Sleeping Giant deployment of nuclear subs Monday. He told reporters that the Sleeping Giant submarines are already on combat duty. That's constant process, and the Bear don't believe this is a case of any sort of escalation, according to the Bear language news website Medusa. Asked about Dmitry remarks, you have Peskov said members of the leadership in any country have different views, but stressed that Vladimir definitely decides the Bear foreign policy. We approach any statement related to nuclear issues with great caution, Peskov added at the press conference, according to the Moscow Times. The Bear is firmly committed to nuclear nonproliferation, and we believe that all parties should exercise the utmost restraint when it comes to nuclear rhetoric. And that's the last time we heard from Dmitry. Dmitry we haven't heard anything about him yet. Now, guys, information is coming out, and again, it's not to back this one up, but this is coming out from like the left, like those who support the left. I seen a video. Someone said that Dmitry has the Jeffrey files and stuff like that. I mean, the Bear, they have the Jeffrey files information. I mean, they know what happened in 2001. They have their satellite images, what really took place. I mean, again, from what I heard, Dmitry could drop the files and completely end everything. But again, that's like conspiracy stuff there. Meanwhile, you have the Red Dragon and the Bear have deepened their ties in recent years, with the Red Dragon providing an economic lifeline to the Bear in the face of Western sanctions over the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. It says here, you have the Bear and the Red Dragon have started mock combat drills and other war games in the Sea of Japan, the Telegraph reported. Now, citing a statement from the Red Dragon Defense Ministry, the newspaper said that the 3-day exercise involves 4 of the Red Dragon vessels, including the guided missile destroyers and Intel's submarine rescue, joint anti-submarine air defense and anti-missile operation, and maritime combat, as well as naval patrols in the relevant waters of the Pacific. At a press conference announcing details of the annual drills last week, the Red Dragon Defense Ministry spokesperson Zhang said that the Joint Sea 2025 exercise will be held in the air and sea near the Bear port city of Vladivostok, positioned across the sea from Japan's west coast. Last year, the drill was held off southern Red Dragon and the South Red Dragon Sea. Now, this is an arrangement within the annual cooperation plan between the Red Dragon and the Bear militaries. It is not targeted at any third party, nor it is related to the current international and regional situation. The Red Dragon and the Bear also signed a no-limit economic partnership shortly after the war in Ukraine began. Once again, Zhang criticized ongoing drills that the Sleeping Giant Air Force is conducting with Japan and other partners in the Pacific, Western Pacific. Resolute Force Public is the largest contingency response exercise ever conducted by the Air Force in the region, according to the U.S. military. Now, the U.S. Air Force has said that their exercise will train its forces to maintain readiness and execute missions under stress to demonstrate their ability to defend the Sleeping Giant and partners nations in the Pacific. The Sleeping Giant has been blindly flexing muscles in the Asia-Pacific regions and attempting to use military drills as a pretext to gang up, intermediate, and pressure other countries and undermine peace and stability in the region. And that's where we are right now. That's the latest updates, but we are literally 4 days away from this deadline. And the latest breaking news, well, there you go. The Bear moves nuke bombers closer to Europe. It's a possibility this headline, this cease plan is not going to happen. So when you see birds in the air carrying nukes, when you see submarines in the sea carrying nukes, yeah, it's about to be game on pretty soon. I mean, this is like for the first time ever seeing nuke bombers getting close to Europe and sub bombers getting close to the Bear. Under Donald, we have seen biblical war rising, and yeah, we're gonna see how all this plays out. But Friday is the deadline. Will the Bear end the war with Crane? I doubt it, guys, but we shall wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.